And welcome to Kansas City. Dick Bremer along with Bert Blyleven, the opening game of a 3-game series. Sometimes you say a number and the magnitude of the number isn't fully realized. 3,000 hits is a lot of hits.
That's almost a book.
Yeah, here is every hit Paul Molitor has picked up in his major league career, front and back, and it goes over 25 pages.
And we don't want to go to the back, do we?
And Blyleven's listed here 19 times, but this could be an awfully big night, not only for Paul Molitor and the Twins, but in baseball history, because it has only been done 20 times before.
Well, you know, you take it a little step further, and you think Paul Molitor getting 200 hits for 15 straight years. That's incredible how many 3,000 hits are.
And Molitor has some friends and family here. It's been a long and glorious career, and through it all, Paul Molitor has only once before put up numbers similar to the numbers he's put up this year. That's another thing that should not be lost. At age 40, he's having what many would call his career year.
I think what's so enjoyable is watching Paul Molitor, the way he goes about his work. It looks like he's really enjoying this. You don't see a nervous individual out there, you know. He's very cordial to everybody that asks him for his autograph. The media, he's been outstanding, but most importantly, I think his teammates are watching somebody that's going to make history.
And I think guys in both dugouts would like to see it happen here. It's a thrill for anybody involved with baseball to see something like this. Brad Radke will pitch for the Minnesota Twins, and Paul Molitor and the Twins will get their first look at a very pleasant surprise for the Royals this year, left-hander Jose Rosado. We'll be back with the first pitch of what might be an historic game in baseball in just a moment.
Twins baseball on MS.
Welcome back to Kansas City. Tonight's Tires Plus Twins lineup has Chuck Knobloch in the leadoff spot. Then Rich Becker, Paul Molitor, the left fielder Marty Cordova hitting fourth, Roberto Kelly hitting fifth in right field. Ron Coomer at first base tonight. He'll hit sixth. The catcher is Matt Walbeck. The shortstop, Pat Mears. And then the third baseman, Todd Walker. Facing left-hander Jose Rosado, who has made quite an impression here in Kansas City in his rookie season.
Boy, he really has. At only 21 years old, this is his first start ever against the Minnesota Twins. 6 foot tall, 175 pounds, making his 14th start.
The Royals defensively have had to make a change. Tom Goodwin was originally in the starting lineup, but he came down with a rib cage muscle pull, so Chris Steins will replace him in left field. The Royals turned the page toward next year a little earlier than the Twins did, because the Twins have been in contention for a wild card playoff spot, although being swept by the Mariners last weekend probably took care of that. The Royals were in pretty much the same position the Twins were in this year last year, and did not make it to postseason play, obviously, and they completely turned their team over with players like Gary Gaetti and Greg Gagne, Wally Joyner, all playing out their careers in Kansas City last year, playing for new teams this year.
Well, they're rebuilding, Dick, and you see a lot of young faces on this Kansas City Royal Ball Club. And you've got a very young pitcher tonight, 21 years old, that just signed 2 years ago and finds himself here, seeing if he can make the starting rotation next year, and he's off to a great start.
Talked with the umpiring crew a few minutes ago. Jim Evans has had a half dozen or so no-hitters, but he's never seen a 3,000 hit game. Chuck Merriweather was the home plate umpire when Dave Winfield got his 3,000th hit 3 years ago tonight at the Metrodome. And now Knobloch starts the game, and he's got a milestone that he can reach. In his first at bat tonight, he has 999 lifetime hits.
I think Chuck's been kind of overshadowed by the Molitor situation, but 1,000 hits, you think of Chuck Knobloch being so young. Off to a great start, looking for one more hit. 4,000. He's looking for a lot more hits.
One strike from Rosado to Knobloch. Just outside, 1-1.
Well, Rosado's not an overpowering pitcher. Two types of fastballs. He relies on a straight fastball and then that sinking fastball away to right-handers. Throws two types of curveballs, a hard curveball and then what he calls a slurve.
Fouled away by Knobloch, and it's 1-2. In this year where home runs have been hit at a record pace, where the lowest earned run average among qualifiers is 2.93 by Juan Guzman, what Rosado has done this year has been really remarkable and encouraging for the Royals. 1-2 to Knobloch. Got him looking.
Like I said, Rosado is not overpowering, but what he does rely on so well is control. See Sweeney sitting back, giving a good target. Strike three, good pitch.
The Twins have two left-handed hitters in their lineup in tonight's game, Rich Becker and Todd Walker. With 2 weeks to go, Becker needs to kick his average up 10 points to finish the year as a 300 hitter. Ball one. Twins have never seen Rosado before. Strike 1-1.
Well, you look at his numbers, Dick, 91 innings pitched, only 24 base on balls.
That's impressive, and again, in a year when home runs have been hit at a record pace, Rosado's given up just 4 of those in 91 innings. 2-1 to Becker. Line foul. That hit one of several empty seats here tonight. The fans here at Kansas City who are here tonight, if Paul Molitor gets his 2 hits, will get a certificate authenticating the fact that they were here. I don't think the copying machine is going to
burn out,
be overworked here tonight if it happens tonight. And Becker is called out on strikes. 2 away, and here comes Paul Molitor.
Well, this is what makes Kansas City so excited about Rosado and his control. But
Molitor in yesterday's game was hit by a pitch in his first plate appearance and then went 0 for 3. Maybe, now that the Twins are on the road, some of the pressure will subside. Strike 1 on the outside corner.
Well, Rosado was asked about facing Paul Molitor, maybe having the opportunity to give him his 3,000th hit, and Rosado said, hey, if the time is due, I'm going to try to make good quality pitches. And if he gets hits, I have to just tip my hat to him.
1 strike to Molitor. Line drive right field. There's 2-9-9-9. Paul Molitor is 1 hit away from the 3,000 hit mark. There's Robin Yount and the Molitor box. His family and friends, many of them here in a private suite. Robin Yount making the trip from Minnesota here to Kansas City to watch Molitor get 2 of these.
Well, Rosado makes a good pitch away, and what Paul does so well throughout his whole career, hits the other way. 2,999.
And Molitor now will really be the focus of everyone's attention. 22 of his nearly 3,000 hits have come off of Hall of Fame pitchers. And he got you, what, 19 times? Is that what we counted
I
up?
guess that's what they said. I thought it was only 18.
That ball gets away from Sweeney, and Molitor will move up to second base on a wild pitch. In yesterday's game, the Twins managed just 2 hits. And maybe it was a case where the Twins lineup was so focused on Paul getting his hits that they forgot to get theirs. Well, now Paul has a hit in his first plate appearance, and Cordova has a chance to bring him in. Swing and a miss, 1-1. Just underway here in the top of the first inning. Twins needing a win tonight to get back to the 500 mark. Toward the hole and through. Molitor got a good jump. Around third he comes. And he will score. And the Twins take a 1-0 lead. Somewhere here at Kauffman Stadium is Mark Gubazov, who had his shin broken by Molitor with a line drive. Oh,
wouldn't that been something?
Ball nearly slipped into the Twins dugout. At the Metrodome earlier this year, Molitor hit a wicked smash up the middle. It hit Gubazov's shin, broke his shin, and ended his season. And if Gubazov's ankle had not gotten in the way, Molitor's 2,999th hit would have been number 3,000.
You think so, huh?
Here's Roberto Kelly, a high fly to short right. Making the catch is Nunnally, but the Twins get a hit from Molitor and a run from Molitor in the first. He has pitched back-to-back complete game wins. His only 2 9-inning complete games of the year. Brad Radke's pitched very well in September.
Brad, 23 years old, 6'2", 185 pounds, making his 33rd start of the year. And over his last 10 starts, he's 5-1 with a 2.85 ERA. So Brad Radke starting to find himself late in the season.
Chuck Knobloch's had a great season series at the plate against Kansas City, also against the Texas Rangers. And there you see the Twins' defensive alignment. Ron Coomer at first, and Knobloch denied in his attempt to get career hit number 1,000. Here's the Kansas City lineup for the opening game of this series. Jose Offerman is the leadoff man, playing second base. Rod Myers in center field will hit second. Then Keith Lockhart, the third baseman, hitting third. Bip Roberts, the designated hitter, hitting cleanup. Then Craig Paquette at first. John Nunnally in right field. Mike Sweeney, the catcher, will hit seventh. Chris Steins, the left fielder, eighth. And David Howard, the shortstop, will hit ninth. Paul Molitor sitting next to Brent Breedy, was called up last week by the Twins.
Well, there's a rookie definitely learning from the true veteran, Paul Molitor.
Here is Jose Offerman. And the first pitch over for a strike. Offerman has proven to be a pretty valuable utility player for the Royals this year. He's been in the lineup just about every night. Ground ball to short. Mears will have to hurry, and Coomer reaches up to pull it down, one away. But Offerman came to the Royals as a shortstop, and he's played most of his games elsewhere. He's at second base tonight. He's been at first base. He's even been in the outfield recently. One away in the Kansas City first, and Rod Myers comes to the plate. First pitch fouled back. Like Rosado, of course, Radke will throw strikes, at least unless he's having that odd game when he does not have his real good stuff. He had one of those games just prior to his 2 complete game wins. 2 strikes now to Myers.
Yeah, that was against Milwaukee on August 31st. He pitched 7 innings, but he walked 5. Very unusual of Brad Radke. Opponents are hitting .253. That's 7th in the American League. Brad Radke has given up 35 home runs. But all in all, Brad Radke, good control.
Fly to right field. Roberto Kelly is out there. And that's out number 2. What makes Radke's last 2 starts particularly impressive, the Twins are looking for pitchers who will be able to pitch well after they've pitched a couple hundred innings. That's an unknown quantity for people like Radke and Rodriguez, and in each case the results have been pretty encouraging. Radke with back-to-back complete game wins. He has 212 innings pitched coming into tonight. Rodriguez with 191 in a fraction innings pitched, and he has pitched well in September.
I think the biggest thing for starting pitchers is how you start in April and how you end in September. Those are the 2 months, and then you try to just pitch even in the middle. But you want to finish strong and you want to end strong.
Well, Radke certainly is doing that. His complete game wins against Oakland in California at home. One and one to Keith Lockhart. To short right field. Roberto Kelly coming in. 1, 2, 3. The Royals go quickly in the first. Welcome back to Kauffman Stadium. Dick Bremer along with Bert Blyleven.
Thank you very much.
Bert will finish out the season on Twins television tonight, tomorrow night, Wednesday night on MSC. So MSC once again will very likely bring you some baseball history. They brought you Eddie Murray's 3,000th hit, Dave Winfield's 3,000th hit, Scott Erickson's no-hitter, and Paul Molitor is 1 hit closer tonight than he was 20 minutes ago. Here's Ron Coomer. Strike 1 on the outside corner. It'll be Coomer, Walbeck, and Mears to face Jose Rosado. Rosado had to wait a while to get his first major league win. It came in his 4th start of the year. Coomer takes a ball, 1-1. The teams really haven't lit him up much. They haven't hit him real hard. You saw a very low number of hits allowed.
On the 5 losses that he has, the Royals have only scored 5 runs for him, and 2 of those games were shutouts.
Coomer lifts one high to left field. Steins is out there for the catch in the first out. Twins have just 3 home games left this year. If you would like to catch the Twins and White Sox the last weekend in September, you can call 33 Twins or 1-800-33-TWINS.
Well, every club needs pitching, Dick, and you look at Rosado, only 21 years old. Had 2 real good years in the minor leagues, went down this year, started in Double-A, started at 2-0. Then they moved him right up to Triple-A, which was their Omaha ball club. He went 8-3 with a real good 3.17 ERA. And now he finds himself in the big leagues.
Walbeck lines a base hit to left field. A 1-out single for the Twins here in the second. About the only team that has really given Rosado a rough start. The Yankees scored 5 runs against him in 4 innings, but he has kept the Royals in just about every one of his games this year. Some of the losses have been pretty impressive. He lost to the Blue Jays 2-1 and went the distance in that game.
Well, in only his 2 months, he earned the Royals Pitcher of the Month honors for both July, when he was 2-1, and August, when he was 3-3. Those are his first 2 months in the big leagues. Not bad.
Mears at the plate with 1 out and Walbeck on. He takes off, and Mears fouls the pitch back. You look at what the Royals have done since we were here last. Rosado was not with the team then. They have signed Kevin Appier to a long-term deal. They got Tim Belcher signed for a couple years. They hope to have Mark Gubazov back next year. Here's a look at the foul on the hit and run. So look for this Kansas City team to be an improved team next year, because they've got what they think is a pretty good pitching staff. Here's a high fly to left center field. Steins chasing it, and this ball is gone. A home run for Pat Mears. A 2-run home run for Pat Mears, and the Twins take a 3-0 lead.
were talking about home runs allowed earlier. Rosado only had 4 home runs in 91 innings pitched. Here's number 5 right here. A little breaking ball just left out over the plate. You see the short, compact swing of Pat Mears. And I thought it was just a long fly ball, but this ball just kept going and going and finds itself over the fence.
Yeah, it fooled me. I didn't think that would make the warning track. 3-0 Twins, and Todd Walker comes to the plate. He takes a strike.
Well, going back to 8th year and Belcher and also Gubazov hopefully coming back, Bob Boone, you know, the manager of the Kansas City Royals, knows the importance of starting pitching. Get me into the 6th and 7th inning. You know, Jeff Montgomery, the all-time Royal close leader, had just major surgery on his arm. You look at Pat Mears there celebrating his home run. But you win by pitching and defense.
Walker is called out on strikes. The 3rd strikeout for Rosado, all 3 on called 3rd strikes. And now Knobloch will come to the plate.
Well, wouldn't it be something if Chuck Knobloch gets his 1,000th hit here and Paul Molitor do it in the same inning? Number 3,000.
Chuck has said that he will ask for the baseball if he gets his 1,000th hit, or when he gets it. Curve misses ball 1. He has the baseball from his 500th hit. He got that against a left-hander, Brian Anderson, when Anderson was with the California Angels. Outside now, 2-0. Knobloch singled in his 2nd at bat yesterday, and then missed in his last 2 opportunities. Had his first opportunity tonight. To right center field. Nunley chasing it. There's hit number 1,000 for Chuck Knobloch, and appropriately enough, it's a double. Chuck Knobloch has just picked up the 1,000th hit of his major league career. So many of the hits have been extra base hits, doubles. A tough pitch here, and he hammered it to the gap.
Boy, he hit the ball good. It was a good low pitch down in the strike zone, hitting it to left or right center for a double with number 1,000. And for my prediction to come right, Rich Becker needs a base hit right here, or a base on balls.
Fastball for a strike.
So congratulations to Nobby. Jim Wiesner has the baseball.
Breaking pitch down and away, and it's 1-1. The Twins in front, 3-0. But some big hits have come early in this game. Chuck Knobloch's 1,000th hit, Paul Molitor's 2,999. Becker takes a ball, 2-1.
And Pat Mears' eighth home run.
That's right. Two and one to Becker. 3-1 with Molitor on deck.
Can we hope for a walk?
Sure.
Okay, walk him.
Down the left field line, Stein's chasing it, and a foul ball and a stumbling dive. Good effort by Steins, but Becker now has a full count. For Knobloch, his rookie year, 1991. Look at the doubles, 184 of them in his first 1,000 hits. And a career batting average of .305. He has said that he would like to someday be where Paul Molitor is. He plans on playing that long. long enough to pick up 2,000 more hits?
Well, the thing about Chuck Knobloch, he will play hurt, just like Paul Molitor throughout his career. He has to go out there with a little bit of pain, and Chuck's not afraid to do that.
3-2 to Becker. Cold foul. If Molitor had not been able or willing to play hurt, he'd have about 1,500 hits. I mean, in his Milwaukee career, he was hurt all the time. Missed over 400 games because of injury. 400 games is 2.5 seasons. Three and two to Becker with 2 gone. Toward the hole. Opperman picks it up. Off balance throw. Got him. A good play and a good scoop on the right side of the Royals infield. Knobloch gets his 1,000th hit. Mears hits a 2-run home run, and Molitor will lead off the top of the 3rd. Dick Bremer and Bert Blyleven with you from Kauffman Stadium. The Twins in front 3-0. Bip Roberts leads off the Kansas City 2nd. Strike 1 from Brad Radke. Roberts a cleanup hitter, and that is not a misprint. He has not hit a home run this year for Kansas City, and he's their cleanup hitter. Base hit, left field. A leadoff single for Roberts. The 5th place hitter for Kansas City is leading Kansas City in home runs this year, Craig Paquette. And his story is really a remarkable one. He was released by the Oakland A's in spring training. Signed to a minor league deal by the Royals, started in Omaha, and now here in mid-September, he's leading the Royals in home runs and RBIs.
Well, sometimes a player gets released like that. It's a big shock to him. Craig Paquette basically went down to Omaha, worked on his stroke, came up here and has put some pretty good numbers so far. 19 home runs, 62 RBIs. Has played some third base, tonight playing first base. Open stance.
Top foul and out of play. Well, it's probably just as well he was released. As impressive as 19 home runs is, you know, in that Oakland clubhouse, you'd almost be embarrassed to walk in there with 19 home runs, wouldn't you? Baroa, McGuire, Steinbach, all having such great years at the plate in terms of home runs. 2 strikes to Paquette. Very strikeout prone through his major league career. Off the hands over the Kansas City dugout. Radke trying to pick up his 11th win of the year. He'll have a losing record this year. He's only got a couple starts left after this. But he hopes to finish strongly, and he has started September very strongly. 1-2.
Well, Paquette has struck out 93 times in 385 at bats.
Three strikeouts and just 23 walks.
He's up there hacking.
There goes Roberts. Up the middle it goes. Knobloch backhands it. Out at second. Out at first. A double play started by Knobloch on a roller right over the pitching rubber.
Well, Bob Boone always has this club on the move, and this was to the Twins' advantage. Paquette get a slider right here. Hits it back up the middle. You see Radke unable to get it, but Chuck covering the bag. Hit right to him. Nice turn, double play. Pitcher's best friend right there.
Two away, and John Nunley will come to the plate. Ball 1. Nunley spent most of this year in Omaha. Outside 2-0. high fly to deep left center field. Marty Cordova calls for it. That's the third out. Paul Molitor will come out of the break with his first attempt at career hit number 3,000. At the age of 40, Paul Molitor is leading both leagues in hits this year. He has 210. He's one short of the 3,000 hit mark. This is his first attempt. A single to right field in the first inning. Career hit number 2,999. Facing Jose Rosado. And ball one.
Well, Rosado got behind him on his first at bat, and he threw him a fastball away. And Paul, like he does so well, got a 200 or his base hit to right field.
1-1 to Molitor.
He knows it.
Inside, 2-1. It was the longest of shots to expect Molitor to get 211 hits this year. Here's a high fly to right field. John Nunley calls for it, and that's the first out. Molitor 1 for 2 tonight. Wife Linda, daughter Blair watching. They've got very good seats, as they should have for tonight's game. Were you ever on the mound for a milestone hit or home run?
I don't remember. I probably was.
Here's Marty Cordova. He singled Molitor home in the first inning. High, ball one. Well, you were in attendance in Anaheim as a member of the Twins when Rod Carew got his 3,000.
He got his 3,000th against Frankie Viola. But what's been so most impressive, I think, you look at the 20 guys that got 3,000 hits. There has never been a triple or a home run for a 3,000th hit. I think there's been 8 extra base doubles and 12 base hits.
I still think that when he gets it, it'll be an infield hit of some sort. I don't think he would want to drop down a bunt, but it would be a chopper or a ball similar to the one he hit Saturday night against Seattle. Alex Rodriguez made a great play in the hole to retire him. It should involve, if it's an appropriate hit, something involving his beating a throw out at first base, because so many of his hits this year have been infield hits.
Well, maybe they have this year, but throughout Paul's career, the 2,999 hits, a lot of them have been up the middle toward right field.
Swing and a miss by Cordova, 1 and 2. Twins jumping on Jose Rosado for 3 quick runs. High, 2 and 2.
Well, what I've seen of Rosado so far, when he's down in the strike zone, very good control of his fastball. When he's been hurt, he's been up in the strike zone, about belt high.
Cordova strikes out for out number 2. Bob Boone is on the verge of seeing his 5th milestone hit. He was playing for the Angels when George Brett got his out in Anaheim. He also saw Rod Carew's. He was there when Pete Rose got his 4,000th hit. And he was also there when Roberto Clemente got his 3,000th hit, and as it turned out, tragically, his final hit back in the early 70s. So this is nothing new for Bob Boone. He's been involved in a lot of memorable games like this. If this is the game. 1-1 to Kelly. 2-1. Kelly with a fly ball to right his first time up. There are 20 members in the club, and 2 of them are here tonight. Bobbing out, sitting in George Brett's suite. George is also here. Fouled back by Roberto Kelly. And of course, in the last homestand, Rod Carew was at the Dome. Twins have played against Eddie Murray. There's Kansas City's 3,000 hit club member. And like Molitor, Brett had to get his 3,000th hit away from home. He got 4 hits in Anaheim just prior to a season-ending series here at Kauffman Stadium against the Minnesota Twins. A walk to Kelly with 2 out in the 3rd inning.
Well, I don't know what they're making such a big deal out of 3,000 hits are. I gave up over 4,000. Big deal.
And some Brewer fans, we presume they're Brewer fans or Packer fans. Cheeseheads are here. Not sure which cap to wear. Ron Coomer at the plate. One and 0 to Coomer. He lifted a fly to left field his first time up. So far, there's only been 1 ground ball out. And Becker nearly got a base hit on that in the 2nd inning. Twins might try to steal Kelly here, leading 3-0. He's got good speed. Twins may want to steal him into scoring position.
Well, Rosado's pretty quick home. He's about 1-3 home. When I say 1-3, usually an average is about 1-4, 1-5, 1.4 seconds to release the ball once you start your windup, to allow your catcher to try to make a good throw to second. Start the clock as soon as he makes a motion right there. You see the short leg kick.
Off-speed pitch there for a strike, 1-1. Two away, top of the 3rd inning. Twins in front 3-0. Coomer fouls one in the box, 1-2. Now with 2 strikes on the hitter. The likelihood of Kelly taking off may have increased. Just off the outside corner. Close pitch. 2-2. The Twins have done tonight what they need to do and what other teams need to do against Kansas City. They are not a power-laden team, but they like to run. And when you get an early lead against them, some of that running game is put away for a while. Coomer takes outside 3-2. When the Royals handled the Twins so well at the Metrodome back in July, they took an early lead, kept on running, and the Twins, like most teams have in the American League, they really had problems with Kansas City's running game.
Yeah, that's what's so important by the 2-run homer by Pat Mears. Now it's a 3-0 ball game.
3-2 to Coomer. Now Kelly will be going, don't you think?
I think so. I'd send him.
Flip to first baseman Craig Paquette. Kelly on the year with 9 steals and 11 attempts. Now Kelly takes off and the pitch fouled away. Of course, a lot of Kansas City's running game is on the bench right now, with Tom Goodwin scratched from the starting lineup because of the rib cage muscle pull. Twins have stolen 129 bases this year. Kansas City 177, and Of those, Goodwin has 65. Again, the 3-2 to Ron Kilmer. Hit hard to center. Rod Myers goes back and makes the catch, and the Twins go scoreless in the third. The Twins have the lead over the Royals. This is a special night. They just made the announcement that Don Knotts is here tonight.
Oh, I like Don Knotts.
Barney Fife is here.
Think he's got his bullet with him?
In his pocket. Well, I am truly honored to be here. This is quite a night. Mike Sweeney at the plate. He'll be followed by Chris Steins and David Howard. To right center field and hit well. Becker makes the catch for the first out. One away in the bottom of the third. Fan Appreciation Night is coming up Saturday, September 28th, when the Twins host Chicago at 7:05. All fans in attendance get a limited edition quality poster of Kirby Puckett Night, September 7th. In addition, other great prizes will be awarded throughout the game. Just call 33 Twins or 1-800-33-TWINS. The operator's standing by tonight. You know, one thing I miss about baseball now, remember at Met Stadium when relief pitchers would come in? I know you remember that. And they had the bullpen car. Well, then on Fan Appreciation Night, they used to give away the car. And in some of those years, quite a bit of mileage on that bullpen car. But now there are no bullpen cars, so we don't give away the bullpen car anymore. Over the head of Radke. Knobloch with the play, the quick flip to Kilmer, and Steins is retired for out number 2.
I think they eliminated the cars because every time as it got older and older, watching the cars run around the field, the players that weren't playing, which included myself a lot of times, we had a tendency to maybe throw something on the windshield of the car as it made its way past the dugout.
In Milwaukee, they have a Harley Davidson with a sidecar that they run around the field when a relief pitcher comes in, but there aren't any relief pitchers who get in the sidecar. So it's just for show. But in the good old days, the relief pitchers sat in the car. It was always a convertible, right? Wasn't it always?
No, not all the time.
One strike to David Howard with 2 gone. Grounded to Knobloch. A bobble, a recovery, and a throw, and a 3-up, 3-down inning in the bottom of the third. Welcome back to Kauffman Stadium. Dick Bremer along with Bert Blyleven. The Twins are leading 3-0. Paul Molitor is 1 for 2. He may get a chance to hit here in the 4th inning, certainly in the 5th. So keep it right here on MSC, your ultimate Twins connection. Matt Walbeck singled and scored in his first at bat back in the 2nd inning. Down and away, ball 1. And now 2-0.
Jose Rosado has made 9 quality starts out of 13, so he's done a very, very good job for this Royal Ball Club.
Fouled back, 2-1. We were talking about their prospects for a pretty good starting rotation next year. If you add Chris Haney into the mix, they're in pretty good shape 1 through 5. Haney's had a wildly inconsistent year. He's been very good and very bad in alternate stretches.
We're going to see him tomorrow night.
Fly to center. Myers makes the catch for the first out of the 4th. And tonight's out-of-town scoreboard is brought to you by the new Dodge. Look at Chris Haney, another left-hander the Twins will face tomorrow. Milwaukee at Baltimore postponed because of rain. New York leading Toronto. The Yankees have a chance to pick up a half game on the Orioles. The Yankees are leading Baltimore by 2.5 games coming into play today. The White Sox leading Cleveland that series not as important as it once appeared it would be, but that series right there is very important for Seattle. They essentially need, I think, a sweep of their 4-game series to put some heat on the Rangers. Winning 3 out of 4 would pick them up just 2 games, which would cut the gap in the West to 4. Texas leading the division by 6 right now, and there are just 2 weeks left, so the Mariners are looking at a must-sweep situation. 2 strikes to Pat Mears. Homered his first time up against Rosado and is hit in his second plate appearance. And Rosado looking at Jim Evans as if to say, well, he stuck his hip into it. I didn't hit him, he hit it.
You see Rosado trying to stay inside. Well, you heard it hit Pat Mears right there.
Todd Walker will hit. Walker, a strikeout victim his first time. He was caught looking. Off-speed pitch that clips the corner, 1 strike. Walker's 10th strikeout in 54 at-bats. Another one on the outside edge. 0-2. Twins have had at least 1 base runner on in every inning so far. The Twins in front 3-0.
Well, you know, Dick, they should make all ballparks the same dimensions as this ballpark is right here. It's a beautiful field. 333 down the line, 375 to the power alley, 400 straight away.
They actually brought the fences in at the start of last season when they went from artificial turf to natural grass.
It's so funny for me to see the natural grass. How many years was it artificial turf?
This is one of the American League's most beautiful stadiums, and it's an old stadium comparatively. Nice stop by Paquette at first. It's not quite as pitcher friendly as it once was with the shorter dimensions, but now you've got grass, which helps the sinker ball pitchers. Close pitch, missing inside, 2-2. Turned into a very pleasant evening for baseball. And it might be an historic evening of baseball. Another close pitch. Now it's a full count with 1 away. Mears may take off.
Well, Rosado's really missed with a lot of close pitches. Jimmy Evans just not giving him that extra inch that he needs, but he's made some really good pitches. The Offerman coming in right now and probably giving him some fatherly advice, maybe about the way his actions are. You can see Rosado looks like he's very cool and comfortable on the mound. Only 21 years old.
That's what has been so impressive about him to the Kansas City Brass. He doesn't seem to be in awe of pitching in the major leagues. Walker lines one foul the other way. That ball hit a long way, but foul.
Well, some people say that might be on the cocky side, the way that he kind of struts around the mound, but what he shows is confidence. He's had a lot of success at the major league level. He feels very good about being here. You've already seen the way he pitches in and out. He's doing a very good job.
You don't necessarily need arrogance or brashness, but what you need is the confidence that you belong here, that this is not a fluke, that you're here, and if you continue to work hard and get some experience, you're going to have a long major league career. And Rosado seems to be a very confident pitcher out there on the mound.
Well, he sure worries about the runners at first for some reason. With his quick move home, I don't know why he throws so many times to first base.
Mears takes off, got a good jump, and Walker lifts one foul into the seats. Mears has already contributed with a 2-run home run tonight. He tried to pick up a stolen base and work his way into scoring position. Mears takes off again, and another pop-up in foul ground might be playable for Lockhart. And he makes a nice catch to retire Walker. Mears gets back to first base. 2 away in the 4th inning.
Well, Lockhart does a good job, keeps his eye on the ball, knows exactly where he is. It's a nice running catch.
And now Chuck Knobloch comes to the plate. A double his last time up for career hit number 1,000. Time called by Knobloch just as Rosado was delivering the pitch.
Rosado taking a lot of time once he gets in that set position. I mentioned before, he's very quick home. So what he needs to do is just have Pat Mears stop.
Up and in to Knobloch, 1-0. To Knobloch. Line foul. This copyrighted broadcast is presented by authority of the Minnesota Twins and may not be rebroadcast in any form without the express written consent of the Minnesota Twins. With director Dave Higgins, producer Naomi Enyart, Dick Bremer, and Bert Blyleven. Bringing you the opening game of this 3-game series, the opening game of a 10-game road trip. Just about all of the last 2 weeks of the year for the Twins will be on the road, save for the last weekend of the year against the White Sox at the Metrodome. 1-1 to Knobloch. Chopped foul. Twins have 3 in Kansas City, 4 in Chicago, and then 3 in Cleveland. The Twins had hopes of staying closer in the wild card race, so that the 7 games with the White Sox would truly be meaningful. But as it is now, the Twins are far enough back in the wild card race, they need to try to get back above the 500 mark and then see what happens.
Well, they can be spoilers, too. It's always nice going into a series with Chicago. See 2.5 back, Twins coming in, hopefully doing very well here in Kansas City, carrying it into Chicago, and maybe being the spoiler.
5.5 games behind the White Sox, 8 games behind the Orioles. Mears takes off. Knobloch to right field, and the ball caught on the run nicely by John Nunley. The Twins are scoreless in the 4th. Welcome back to Kauffman Stadium. It's 3-0 Twins. And this is our snapper Moem down.
All right.
if Brad Radke sets down the Royals 3 up, 3 down by any means. Don Krebsbach from Austin, Minnesota wins a snapper 21-inch 5-horsepower walk mower valued at $350. And while Brad Radke continues his warm-up pitches between innings, we can bring you some National League scores. The Braves leading the Mets 1-0 in the 6th inning. Denny Nagel was supposed to go for the Braves in that game. Los Angeles and Colorado. Rockies are on the fringes of the National League West race. And the fringes of the wild card race as well. San Diego trailing the Dodgers by a half game. That might be the best race in baseball. There are 2 pretty good races in the National League, just 1 in the American League. Cardinals leading the Astros by 2.5 games in the Central. And the Dodgers leading the Padres by a half game in the West. In the American League, it's pretty much over with, unless Seattle sweeps Texas in 2 of the divisions. And the Orioles are 2.5 games behind the Yankees. Jose Offerman leads off the Kansas City 4th inning. Brad Radke's faced just 9 men through 3 innings. He did give up a hit, a leadoff single in the 2nd by Biff Roberts. It didn't take the Royals too long to figure out that Jose Offerman is a pretty good hitter, but you really cannot afford to play him at short every day. He had so many errors in his tenure with the Dodgers, and his first chance here with Kansas City, he threw the ball into the seats.
He's got 16 errors this year, but he has not played that much at short to where if he was playing short on a regular basis, he'd be up in the high 30s right now.
3-1 to Offerman. They say he actually did a pretty good job defensively at first base. Most of his error problems have been throwing errors. He's, as he is tonight, has played some second base, first base, short, center field a couple weeks ago for the first time. 3-2 from Radke to Offerman. 31 pitches, 22 strikes. At this rate, Brad Radke could pitch 15 innings tonight. A high fly to deep right field. Roberto Kelly near the track, on the track, makes the catch. One away in the Kansas City 4. Anheuser-Busch, KQRS, and the Twins present the Friday night concert series. Great bands will be featured before every Friday home game from 5:30 to 6:45 in the Plaza, located on the west side of the Metrodome. One more Friday night concert coming up, the 27th, featuring the Bone Shakers.
Oh boy, I'm sure you'll run out there to listen to them. I know I'll be out there.
I'll be diligently preparing for that night's broadcast, as I usually am. In other words, I'll be out on the plaza having a brat or 2, listening to the music. Chopper foul into the Kansas City dugout, 0-2. Looking ahead to the 5th, Paul Molitor will hit. It'll be his second chance at career hit number 3,000. 2 strikes to Rod Myers. 1-2.
Yeah, but we have to give a snapper away here first. It's a good way to start the road trip.
Almost too late to cut your grass. The leaves are turning back home. Starting to. It's been so dry. A lot of the grass is dead anyway.
Well, mine's still green, but I bought that new house.
A ball. 3-2 now to Rod Myers.
I'm just so happy to be on the road. I don't see any more boxes. I know you're going through a move too.
I know the feeling.
My goodness, last thing I want to see is a box.
There's a walk to Myers with 1 out of the 4th inning.
Sorry, Don.
First walk issued by Radke, and Keith Lockhart will come to the plate.
Brad tonight with his first walk, his last 2 games, he only walked 2. He has struck out 17. Has no strikeouts so far this evening.
A fly to short center. Rich Becker makes the catch for out number 2. So you're not all moved in yet?
No, I'm not. I still have a whole garage full of boxes.
Well, you know, I'd love to come up and help you, but
But you have your own boxes,
well,
right?
I do, and, you know, this back problem that I've had.
Well, you would think that the people that I bought the house from would also help me, you know, the people over at Pineview, Overlook Homes, but no, they don't help me.
Biff Roberts at the plate. What'd you get, free carpeting for giving him a plug on the air now, or what?
Did I say that? Got my windows clean.
Roberts singled, the only hit so far tonight against Brad Radke. Singled in his first at bat. Here's a liner foul. Roberts was pretty excited about what might happen here tonight. Talked with him a little bit in the Kansas City dugout, and he said, you know, this could be a fun night for everybody. That's, I think, the sentiment in both dugouts, that they would like to see it happen, even though Roberts plays for the opposing team. It's an honor to witness an event like this. And Roberts was saying just a matter of a couple years before a former teammate of his, Tony Gwynn, will probably join the 3,000 hit club. 1-2 to Roberts with 2 gone in the Kansas City 4th. There goes the runner. Pitch grounded to the right side. Knobloch slammed down the brakes on his way to second base. Makes the play. Paul Molitor will hit second in the 5th inning when we come back. Paul Molitor in the on-deck circle. He'll have to wait for Rich Becker's at bat here in the 5th inning with the Twins in front 3-0, and Molitor 1 for 2 so far tonight with 2,999 career hits. Becker was caught looking in the 1st inning, robbed by Jose Offerman. A nice play by Offerman in short right field. This ball lined foul, 1 strike. Rosado's had to spend a good part of the night pitching from the stretch. He's already thrown 79 pitches, and we've just started the 5th inning.
And he threw a lot of pitches last inning. Took a lot of time between pitches.
1-1. Swing and a miss. 1-2 to Becker. There's only one pitcher who qualifies for the ERA leadership who has an ERA of under 3, and Rosado came into this game with a 2.67 ERA. So Rosado's ERA actually below Juan Guzman's. He just hasn't pitched enough innings.
They need 162 innings to qualify.
Becker strikes out, and Paul Molitor comes up next. Molitor 1 for 2 tonight, picking up career hit number 2,999 in his first at bat tonight. We welcome those of you joining us around the country. Dick Bremer and Bert Blyleven bringing you Paul Molitor's 3rd at bat tonight. He is 1 for 2 and is 1 hit shy of the 3,000 hit mark. First pitch, line foul. Molitor wanted dearly to pick up his 3,000th hit at home. The Twins just completed a week-and-a-half long homestand, and Molitor went 0 for 3 yesterday. 1 for 2 so far here tonight. to right center field. Myers and Nunley chase it. Myers, the ball drops. Molitor has his 3,000th hit, and he's chugging for third. And he's in with a triple. Paul Molitor becomes the 21st member of baseball's 3,000 hit club. St. Paul, you've got two members in the 3,000 hit club. Dave Winfield and now Paul Molitor.
And Paul Molitor being a very emotional individual. He's cherishing every second of this.
How infrequently have we seen that? Tom Kelly coming out onto the field during the game. He stayed in the dugout after Game 7 in 87 and 91. But he comes out to honor Molitor. A video presentation being shown on the scoreboard here at Kauffman Stadium. That's what's drawing Molitor's attention right now. When Robin Yount got his 3,000th hit a few years ago, Molitor and Jim Gantner were both there to welcome him at first base. Wife Linda, daughter Blair here. His father Richard didn't feel well today. When the rest of the Molitor family and friends caravan came to Kansas City, his father Richard, so supportive of his career, was unable to make the trip, and we trust he's feeling better now and back home in Minnesota watching.
Congratulations, Paul Molitor.
Absolutely. And for the Kansas City fans, this is their first chance at seeing a 3,000 hit game. George Brett hit it on the road in Anaheim. What a night for Paul Molitor.
And I mentioned earlier, Dick, that the 20 previous 3,000 hit men had base hits or doubles. That's the first triple for a 3,000 hit. Unbelievable.
Cordova hits one hard foul down the right field line. I thought Myers was going to catch that ball. I'm surprised it dropped. Infield in for the Royals with one out and Molitor at third. A high pop-up. Paquette in front of the Kansas City dugout, overruns it but makes the catch. 2 away. Here's another look at a hit you'll see quite frequently over the years.
That's a high fastball. He hit the ball good. See the miscommunication of the outfielders, allowing Paul to get a triple. Number 3,000.
Quite a night for both Molitor and Knobloch. Earlier tonight, Chuck got his 1,000th hit. Roberto Kelly taking up and away. Little chopper back to the mound. Rosado makes the play. The Twins don't score, but Paul Molitor gets his 3,000th hit in the 5th inning here in Kansas City.
Paul Molitor, you're among the elite. 3,000 career hits in Major League Baseball and counting. Congratulations from MSC, your Minnesota Twins connection.
Stacy.
Wow. That was kind of fun, wasn't it?
That was a lot of fun.
Craig Paquette will lead off the Kansas City 5th. First pitch toward the hole. Great stop by Mears. Up, he fires, and Paquette beats out an infield hit.
Well, with Paul Molitor getting that 3,000 hit, there's only one thing he wants right now, and that's a Twins victory.
Yeah. And I think everybody else in the dugout wants exactly that, too. It would not be much fun to pick up the big hit and have to go back to a subdued clubhouse. I think everyone would like to celebrate with Paul, and it's not very good protocol to celebrate after a loss. So the Twins now want to win the game. Brad Radke will do what he can about that. John Nunley, with a fly to left in his first at bat, takes ball 1.
Well, Brad Radke's done a good job so far, only giving up 2 hits. 3-0 lead.
Up and in a ball. To the day that Dave Winfield got his 3,000th hit. Paul Molitor has gotten it here tonight. And I have spent some time trying to research this, and short of reading full biographies on all the members of the 3,000 hit club, I think we can safely say that Winfield and Molitor are the only 2 members in the club who played college baseball. And both of them, of course, played for the University of Minnesota. Big swing and a miss, 2-2. So, St. Paul, you've got 2 members of the 3,000 hit club that you can brag about. The University of Minnesota has the only 2 college ball players who went on to get 3,000 hits in the major leagues. And Molitor, as I think you saw there, appropriately enough, has a little blood on his uniform, skinned his knee, sliding into third base. 2-2 to John Nunley. Back in the olden days, players like Cobb and Wagner played baseball as teenagers and then went on, through their 30s and played. Of the more contemporary players, I couldn't come up with anyone who played college baseball. Rod Carew, Al Kaline, Clemente, Yount, swing and a miss, Brett. Nunley is retired for the first out of the bottom of the 5th inning.
And that's Brad Radke's first strikeout. Does have 1 walk.
One away in the 5th. Mike Sweeney comes to the plate. Somewhere I would imagine Dick Siebert's really enjoying what he has seen tonight. Legendary Gopher baseball coach. A high strike to Sweeney. Sweeney lifted a fly ball to center field, caught by Rich Becker back in the 3rd inning. 2 strikes.
That good fastball right there from Brad Radke. What he does so well, he gets a breaking ball over, has an excellent changeup, and then when he does throw his fastball in the high 80s, Sweeney just swings through that.
Two strikes to Sweeney. Got him. Back-to-back strikeouts for Radke. And that will bring Chris Steins to the plate. The days when pitchers were asked to throw 300 innings may never come back. Now what teams look for are pitchers who can pitch effectively after they get 200 innings under their belt. It looks like Radke might be one of those pitchers. Walker across the diamond to Coomer, and the Royals have been shut out for 5 innings by Brad Radke. I think that expression is the definition for basking in the glory. Chuck Knobloch coming over to have some words. Between innings, the Royals did something very nice. They got a taped tribute from George Brett, Robin Yount, who are both here, and Rod Carew, who was here this past weekend. The Angels were playing here in Kansas City over the weekend. And the Royals got a comment, a congratulatory message from Rodney, from George, and from Robin, and ran it between innings, and that's why the Twins dugout was reacting once again. There's George and Robin. They got their 3,000th hit in the same year. Coomer with a hard smash to the left side, picked up by Lockhart, and he makes a nice play to retire Ron Coomer.
Well, you saw that smile of Paul Molitor. You're going to see that smile the rest of the year and all winter long. And he probably won't hit him exactly what he did for quite a long time. He knows what he did, but he doesn't know the group that he's involved with. It's unbelievable. 3,000 base hits.
He is tied right now for 20th on the hit list with Roberto Clemente. And very likely this year will surpass Clemente and Al Kaline on the hit list. Al Kaline finished his career with 3,007 hits. And first base umpire Larry McCoy umpired that game. And in talking with him before the game, he said, yeah, I did the game, but back then nobody made a big deal about it. It was just, you know, a nice round number. They stopped the game. Everybody applauded. And he went on with things. Well, now, milestone hits like that are promoted, and a much bigger deal is made of them. Wallback chops one to short. Howard with the play, out number 2.
Well, I know it's only a number, but it's a high number.
Yes, very high. Here's tonight's Champion Auto Parts Crown Auto Service Center's leaderboard. The American League triple leaders at the age of 40. Paul Molitor has 8 triples. Number 8 coming tonight, and he's the first player ever to pick up his 3,000th hit and end up standing at third base. Pat Mears takes a strike. Even though he didn't score, Molitor will remember that hit for as long as he lives. Mears with a ground ball. 3 ground ball outs here in the 6th inning. The Twins lead it 3-0. Well, September 16th will be an awfully big day, not just in Twins history, but in baseball history. You know, when you pick up a newspaper, sometimes they'll have an, you know, this day in history. On September 16th, 1996, Paul Molitor got his 3,000th hit, and Don Knotts was here to watch it. And Norman Fell is behind him someplace. What a night. Barney Fife saw Paul Molitor get his 3,000th hit.
Where's Andy at? Goober. Aunt B?
Gomer. 1-1 to David Howard. But, you know, in the newspaper, you know, you pick up a sports section, they'll say this day in sports. No, there'll be 2 entries remarkably similar. Just the name will change.
Both from St. Paul.
Popped up left side. Pat Mears making the call. And the catch for the first out. Here is tonight's Northland Ford game breakdown. Paul Molitor with 2 hits. A triple in the 5th inning, his 3,000th career hit. So far, Kansas City's been held to 2 little singles, 2 leadoff singles by Brad Radke, who's pitched a very solid ball game here tonight. Game breakdown brought to you by Northland Ford. Norman Fell. They were in Three's Company together, right? Where's Suzanne Summers? And who was the other one?
He was a great landlord.
Joyce DeWitt, right? Is that who it was? 1-0 to Jose Offerman. Foul back. That was your favorite show, wasn't it? Three's Company?
No, I like Andy Griffith.
Yeah, I still, when I'm in a hotel room flipping through the channels, if I see an old episode, I can't switch channels. That's where the remote control stops.
Gunsmoke.
Except nobody replays that, do they? Gunsmoke? Everybody replays the Andy Griffith show.
Yeah, they do.
2-1 to Jose Offerman. We'd like to offer an explanation as to why Norman Fell and Don Knotts are here, but frankly, we haven't got a clue.
They're baseball fans. They wanted to see number 3,000. Maybe filming a movie in the area?
Well, when they leave here, though.
Grumpier old men?
When they leave here, they're going to get a nice little certificate that says, I was there, and they'll probably mat them and frame them and put them up next to the Emmys and all the awards that they've gotten. 3-2 to Jose Offerman. 1 away, bottom of the 6th. And a drive to right center field. Kelly trying to cut it off. He gets there, but Offerman goes to second anyway, and he's in with the first extra base hit for Kansas City.
Well, Brad's done a good job of pitching inside. This one just comes back out over the plate. See Offerman open up, the head of the bat out, hit it in the right spot. Kelly making a good play. But with Offerman's speed, gets into second easy.
A 1-out double for Offerman, and Rod Myers comes to the plate. 3-0. The Twins have the lead. Getting a run in the first, 2 in the second. A strike to Myers. Myers in center field came close to catching Molitor's 3,000th hit in the gap in right center field. One and one.
Well, this is kind of an early spring training for Bob Boone and his coaching staff. Look at all these young kids. Myers getting an opportunity to show Bob Boone and his staff what he can do.
Down the right field line. This is trouble in the corner. It is a fair ball and a ground rule double. And the Royals are on the board. Offerman scoring. It's a 3-1 ball game.
That's a breaking ball that Brad leaves up right down the middle. Roberto not able to catch up to it. It's right down the line. Bounces over the fence for a ground rule double.
Here is Keith Lockhart. One and 0 to Lockhart. Lockhart has just tied the game. Held without an extra base hit for 5 1/3 innings. The Royals put 3 of them back to back to back. And Lockhart's 6th home run makes it a 3-3 game.
Well, we've seen this so many times this year from Brad Radke. Pitched 4 or 5 real good innings, keeping the hitters off balance. And you can see the Kansas City Royals looks like they're waiting back for that breaking ball or changeup. Here's a changeup that he just left out. See Lockhart out in front, but good extension, good strength. Lockhart's 6th home run. Ties the ball game at 3-3. For Lockhart, that's his 53rd RBI.
Here's Biff Roberts. Ground ball sharply at Knobloch. And that's out number 2. Lockhart had an outstanding first half of the year. He tailed off a little bit in the second half, but a big home run here in the 6th inning to tie the game. And now Craig Paquette comes to the plate. Paquette is 5 for 14 lifetime against Brad Radke, and he's hit 3 home runs against Radke. Outside a ball. One and one. Two. Twins getting a run in the first, 2 in the second. The Royals 3 here in the 6th. A base hit to center for Paquette. He continues to hit Radke well. The only time Brad's gotten him tonight, Paquette hit a ground ball right up the middle, but Roberts was in motion, and the play ended up as a double play instead of a base hit. 2 hits since, and now John Nunley will come to the plate. Nunley with a fly to left and a strikeout. Low, ball 1. And now 1-1. Radke was sailing along through 5 innings, but trouble here in the 6th. One and 2.
First 4 or 5 innings, Brad Radke was really mixing his pitches up, working the corners of the plate. See this inning, he's basically down the middle of the plate. Nunley had a real good swing at that fastball right there.
2-2. Our score. The Royals have tied it up here in the bottom of the 6th. Base hit down the line. Paquette to third. The ball gets away from Kelly, and the Royals City. 5 hits this inning for the Royals, and maybe an error tacked on to the end of that hit.
That's a tough play for Roberto Kelly right here. Watch the ball carry him off the wall. You almost have to go and try to stuff that ball against the wall, and it just was not there in time to do that.
Nunley at third. They will give Nunley apparently a triple on the play and an RBI. And Kansas City has a 4-3 lead. Mike Sweeney at the plate. As Radke was delivering the pitch, Nunley sprinted about, well, a good third of the way, almost halfway home, as if he was going to try to steal home. He's got great speed. 1-0 the count. Now 1-1. Another sprint down the line. Radke unflustered. There's a chopper behind third. Good play by Walker. He can't get anything behind the throw. And Sweeney will get an infield hit, and it's 5-3 Kansas City.
Well, Sweeney just getting a breaking ball down, just hits it off the end of the bat. Todd Walker trying to make a good play, off balance throw, way up the line. 5-3 Royal lead.
2 are out. Dave Stevens warming up in the Twins pen, and Tom Goodwin has come off the Kansas City bench to run for Mike Sweeney. Radke with 10 wins this year. He probably could be pitching for his 20th win tonight if innings like this wouldn't have cropped up repeatedly this year.
Boy, it always seems to be the 6th and 7th inning.
There goes Goodwin. Walbeck's throw, perfect, and Goodwin was out by a mile. He's second in the league to Kenny Lofton in stolen bases. And he's thrown out easily by Walbeck, but the Royals score 5 times to take a 5-3 lead. Royals have the lead 5-3 as we go to the top of the 7th inning. This is the time of the year when the weather turns a little cooler, even here in Kansas City, only in the upper 60s. And these are available at the Twins Pro Shop. These are kind of nice.
Very comfortable, yeah.
This time of year, everybody needs a jacket, and you can get a jacket like this at the Twins Pro Shop. You can go to the 2 centers. Yeah, model those for me. Thank you very much. The Pro Shop's located in the Southport Center, Apple Valley, and Rosedale Marketplace, Roseville. These jackets are this month's special. A starter Twins jacket for just $75. A savings of 35%. Of course, you can get your Twins tickets too. Yeah.
Look at that. Nice colors.
Very nice and warm.
Yep.
This is going to be coming.
Is that a small?
This is an extra large. This is going to come in handy in Chicago, I have a feeling.
Very much so.
Well, Tom Kelly has seen a game turn completely around in the bottom of the 6th inning. Twins haven't done much against Jose Rosado since the 2nd inning. And now Rosado will be throwing to a new catcher. Henry Mercedes replacing Mike Sweeney behind the plate. Jeff Rebele will hit for Todd Walker. Now the Twins have to come from behind, and Tom Kelly uses one of his 3 right-handed hitters here leading off the 7th. Probably every manager in baseball would like to have what Tom Kelly has on his bench. right now. He's got 5 left-handed hitters on his bench because the left-hander Rosado is starting. Kelly has, first of all, switch hitter Denny Hocking. That would make it 6. Chip Hale, Matt Lawton, Brent Breedy, Scott Stahoviak, and Greg Myers. The Twins weren't able to get Rosado out of the game, so he stays in there, and then as long as he's out there, he'll keep Minnesota's left-handed hitters on the bench. 2-1 to Rebele.
Well, they had him on the ropes the first 2 innings. Pat Mears hitting the 2-run homer.
Pulled hard and foul off the window of the Royals Club restaurant down the left field line there. Suites are down there.
That's where Don Knotts is sitting.
Is that right? And Norman fell. Don't want to forget Norman fell. One away in the 7th inning. And that'll bring Chuck Knobloch to the plate.
Well, Rosado, since the 2nd inning, has only given up 1 base hit, and that being Paul Molitor's 3,000th hit. Exactly what Bob Boone and pitching coach Bruce Keeson want out of their starters. Get me to the 6th and 7th inning. You're going to have bad innings. But Rosado has bounced back and put up 4 shutout innings.
Fly to short right. Nunnally has it for out number 2. Every Sunday home game is a Super America Knothole Day when fans 14 and under get free admission if accompanied by a paid adult. You buy one $4 ticket at Super America, you get 2 youth knothole tickets absolutely free. The last Super America Knothole Day coming up on the last game of the year, the last day of the regular season, September 29th against the White Sox. Two away here in the top of the 7th. Rich Becker takes the ball. If Becker can reach, Molitor would have a chance. Two and one. Becker struck out twice against Rosado. He's also been robbed of a base hit by Jose Offerman.
Well, he got him looking on a fastball away the first time up and struck him out last time up on a breaking ball.
Down the left field line, a hit for Becker. And Molitor will come to the plate for the first time since getting his 3,000th hit. Bob Boone comes to the mound. He's going to make a pitching change. So Rosado is done for the night. He might be able to pick up his 7th win of the year. But let's see what happened in the 5th inning. With 1 out, Paul Molitor in his 2nd attempt at career hit number 3,000.
He got a high fastball, fought it off, hit it to right center. Once he sees that ball drop.
What I really appreciated was the extra base he took. In typical Molitor style, the easy thing to do would have been to put it in 2nd gear, go into 2nd base, stand there, and soak it all in. But Molitor, to the surprise of no one, tried for the extra base and went in with a head-first slide.
Well, once he hit 2nd base, he knew that it might be close. Head-first slide.
And then you see Tom Kelly coming out of the dugout. You were on the field in '87 after Game 7. He stayed in the dugout then. He stayed in the dugout after the '91 World Series was over with. But here, he admires Molitor so much that he came out to help congratulate Paul.
And you saw all the players out there, and Tom standing in the background. He walked out.
Molitor waits as we have a Hardy's pitching change. Bob Scanlon, veteran right-hander, coming into the ball game for the Royals.
Bob Scanlon just called up. Has the opportunity to come in here and save the game. This is his 14th appearance. High ERA, 8.82. Opposing clubs are hitting .328 off of him.
Scanlon came up with the Chicago Cubs in '91. Spent a couple of years with the Brewers, although not with Paul Molitor in the clubhouse. Molitor by then had already gone to Toronto, and so they'll face each other here in the 7th inning. The Twins down by 2 runs. And how big is Bob Scanlon?
Bob Scanlon, 6'4", 220 pounds.
Scanlon relieving Jose Rosado. And Molitor comes to the plate. Hey, maybe he'll hit for the cycle tonight.
Wouldn't that be something?
Needs a double and a home run. Two out, a runner aboard. Becker at first with 2 away. Molitor gets his 3rd hit tonight. Now he's 20th on the all-time hit list. He's just passed Roberto Clemente with his 3rd hit tonight.
That's another typical Paul Molitor hit. Scanlon coming in, first ball fastball. Paul going the other way. Big hole between first and second. 3,001 hits. And he's not done.
Cordova might be able to tie the game with an extra base hit. Over the mound, Offerman fields it, flips to short. Howard makes the catch, and the Twins strand 2 in the 7th. But Paul Molitor has just moved past Roberto Clemente on the all-time hit list.
Where are they going?
I don't know. Don Knotts and Norman Fell are leaving the building. Apparently they're here for some local theater or play that's running. I don't know. Can't imagine what it would be, but maybe they'll come to the Twin Cities soon and we'll see them there.
I hope so.
Could be guest of honors at the Metrodome, maybe. Jeff Rabelais in at 3rd base for the Twins. They trail by 2. Up and in to Chris Steins. Steins 0 for 2, a couple of ground balls. This one, a fair ball down the line. Another extra base hit for the Royals. Steins checks in at second with a double. Well, the Royals doing a lot of damage down the lines tonight against Brad Radke. Not much up the middle. The home run was pulled. The doubles have been pulled.
Well, they seem to be staying back a little bit more. First 4 or 5 innings, they were jumping at the Brad Radke pitch. Now it seems like they're waiting back and having a lot of success doing that.
David Howard at the plate. Les Norman replacing Chris Steins at second base. And the Twins will play in at the corners, anticipating David Howard's bunt. Bunted in the air, foul. Well, everything points to a bunt here. The Royals leading by 2 runs. The number 9 hitter's up, but truth be told, in Bob Boone's mind, it doesn't make any difference whether it's the cleanup hitter or the number 9 hitter. He likes to bunt.
Well, he likes Gene Mauch. He learned a lot of his baseball from Gene Mauch. Late in the game, you don't want to get beat by a 2-run homer. There he's trying to get that little extra insurance run. Kansas City, a lot like the Twins.
Wallback throws to second on one hop. The ball rolls away from Mears, and Norman will gain third base. Norman nearly tried to steal third on the prior pitch with the corner men in. Reveille was well in on the grass, and you're susceptible to a stolen base in that situation. Wallback threw errantly to second.
Well, he's just getting a real good jump right here. Stops. Matt tries to throw behind him. Mears not able to pick it. You see Wallback throwing a second. Just short hops Pat. Ball gets away. E2 on the play.
And now the threat of a squeeze play is on. 1-1 to Howard. 2-1. Third time through the order. The Royals are 7 for 8 against Brad Ratke, and Tom Kelly has come to the mound here probably to make a pitching change. Maybe not in this situation. Maybe he will just want to talk strategy. I guess I missed his signal to the bullpen. He's already called for Dave Stevens to come into the game. First up, a Hardy's pitching change with the Royals leading 5-3. Brad Ratke leaves, having pitched into the 7th inning, but Dave Stevens will take it at least for a while from here. And now, a word of advice from the Kansas City Royals. We understand that their phone lines here in Kansas City literally are flooded to the point where people are having to wait up to a half hour to get through. People mainly from Minnesota trying to get through to buy tickets for tonight's game. And the Royals have asked us to inform all of you who might be watching around the country, and again particularly in Minnesota, that they will be taking ticket orders tomorrow, and we'll give you a number here in a moment where you can call tomorrow from 9 in the morning to 9 p.m. The number is 1-800-6-ROYALS. You need not call tonight. If you do, you're going to have a very long wait, and perhaps if you don't call on the toll-free number, you'll have a rather large phone bill. They will take phone calls all day tomorrow from 9 in the morning to 9 p.m. A high fly, short right field. Actually, it's carrying out to medium deep right field. Kelly with the catch. Norman with the tag, and he will score, and the Royals lead by 3. A sacrifice fly. And it's a 6-3 game. We'll give you the phone number again for those of you who want a ticket to tonight's game, even though you weren't here. That's a pretty common keepsake for fans. 1-800-6-ROYALS, and you can call tomorrow from 9 in the morning till 9 p.m. And trust us, folks, there are plenty of tickets available for tonight's game. Not many were purchased here. Not many people witnessed it in person, but if you'd like a ticket, you can call tomorrow. Two strikes to Jose Offerman.
Well, I'm going down and buying all the remaining tickets, so don't call.
Then they'll call you. What is your room number at the hotel? We'll have them call you tomorrow morning at 9 o'clock.
I'm in 2004.
Our hotel only has 15 floors.
And I'm on cloud 9.
2-2 to Offerman. Check swing foul into one of the empty seats.
Offerman started that 6th inning against Brad Ratke after Brad got Dave Howard to pop up to short. Offerman got the double that just opened up the floodgates for 5 runs and 6 more hits.
A liner over the glove of Mears, and Offerman has a base hit. Dave Stevens trying to finish with a good final 2 weeks. He had a good spurt and a couple of bad spurts through the 1996 season.
Well, since taking out of the closer role, he's 2-2 with a 4 ERA. This being his 43rd game. Opposing clubs are hitting .262 off of Dave Stevens.
There goes Offerman. The pitch lifted behind third. Rebele is back there. He makes the catch for out number 2. So Myers is retired.
Boy, mentioned it earlier about that 3-0 lead that the Twins had after the first 2 innings. It cut down some of the offensive running that Bob Boone can have his players do. You see now with a 3-run lead, you see Offerman take off with the first pitch.
Keith Lockhart tied it up last inning with a 2-run home run. Outside, ball 1.
Offerman has 19 stolen bases. He's been caught 10 times.
2-0. If you can think back to Dave Stevens at the start of the 95 season and look at him now, he looks like 2 entirely different people. Prior to last year, he had bulked up quite a bit over the winter. And of course this year he had the tonsillitis and had a tremendous weight drop, but he has lost weight during the season. And I would guess that he's at least 50 pounds lighter now than he was at the start of the 95 season. He was up, I think, around 240, and he looks to be around 190, something like that. I'm not as good as you are at guessing weight.
I'd say 195.
195. 3-0 the count to Lockhart. There's a strike. Of course, he had his stint on the disabled list.
Well, this situation right here, this is where Bob Boone likes to hit and run. Get the infielders moving. Be surprised if Offerman tries to steal right here.
Stevens thinking that, throws over to Coomer. Bob Boone's got a nice warm jacket on tonight.
Not as nice as ours, though.
No. Offerman stays put. Pitch fouled back.
Now I bet you he will be running.
Now let's see. The count's full. 2 out.
I learned that from earlier in the game. Same situation.
There he goes, and the pitch line to Knobloch for the 3rd out. Royals get another run in the 7th. They lead 6-3. The Royals have the lead over the Twins. We go to the 8th inning. It'll be Roberto Kelly, Ron Coomer, and Matt Walbeck. Facing right-hander Bob Scanlon. First pitch fouled over the Kansas City dugout. Guy with the dirt all over his uniform, that's Les Norman. He's taken over for Chris Steins in left field. One and one. Off the hands into short right, and the ball dropped by Paquette, and Kelly should get a base hit.
Well, one of the hardest things for an infielder is to go back on the ball. See Paquette go back. The ball should have been caught. Just hit the heel of his glove, and he knew it right there.
A leadoff single for Kelly, and now Ron Coomer comes to the plate. Now with a right-hander on the mound, the Twins would have the option of going to their bench, but Bob Boone has a left-hander warming up in his bullpen. So Bob Boone would counter any move that Tom Kelly would likely make.
Well, Scanlon came up with the Chicago Cubs in 1991. Last year spent some time with Milwaukee. Lifetime record, 20 wins, 32 losses.
Coomer takes a hack at the first pitch, 1 strike. They have announced tonight's paid attendance, 16,843. And if there were 6,000 people here, I think 6,843 might be closer than 16.
Well, the Royals have just not drawn this year, but they have a young ball club. They're looking forward to next year on the field, and hopefully the fans will come when they start winning.
One of the big differences between the Royals and the Twins right now, the Twins have a franchise player in Chuck Knobloch to help draw the fans. Of course, they lost Kirby Puckett. A few years ago, the Royals lost George Brett. Well, the Royals still don't have that franchise player. Driven to the right side, Offerman with the catch, and Kelly gets back to the bag, 1 out. We have not had a Bert's Brainbuster for a while because you've not been working for a while.
Yes.
So here's tonight's Brainbuster. Name the teams and pitchers who gave up hits 1,000 and 2,000 to Paul Molitor. Well, that would take just a little bit of research here since we have
I thought you don't wait. I thought you can't look.
We have the whole chronology here. Every hit he's ever gotten. Find the right.
That's a tough question.
It's easy. Just give me a minute. Becker and Molitor.
Well, both of them had to come when he was with the Milwaukee Brewers.
Ground ball to second. Offerman to short. Out there. Relay. Double play. Wallback bounces into an inning-ending double play. I bet we can come up with the answer when we come back. Matt Wallbeck bouncing into a 4-6-3 double play.
Well, Matt Wallbeck got a pitch. You can see Offerman making a good turn. Howard making a good throw for the double play.
Royals lead it 6-3. Chip Hale warming up Dave Stevens while Matt Wallbeck put the gear on, and Stevens threw him a nasty sinker. Not supposed to do that to some.
I was out here early, and Chip Hale was warming up Frankie Rodriguez, and Frankie short hopped one and got him in the hand. So Chip Hale trying to do anything he can to stay on the major league level. Trying his hand at catching and finding out that you can get hurt back there.
Going back to our trivia question, who was the long reliever that the Red Sox had back in the late?
Bob Stanley.
Bob Stanley. I think he gave up Molitor's 1,000 hit. Here's a line drive to center off the bat of Biff Roberts. Becker cuts it off nicely. Roberts will be held to a single. That ball got out to Becker in a hurry. So a leadoff single for Roberts.
Well, Stevens just starting him off with a fastball. Biff Roberts, always a very aggressive hitter, a lot like Tony Phillips, the Chicago White Sox. Good hitter.
And then for Molitor's 2,000th hit, I seem to remember the Royals were involved in that. Oh, it's Brent Saberhagen. Hit number 2,000. 6 years apart, and 5 years after the 2,000th hit, or thereabouts, Molitor got his 3,000th hit. There's a good bunt laid down by Paquette. Stevens will make the play to Coomer for the first out. A sacrifice for Craig Paquette. A couple years ago, when Molitor was with the Blue Jays, he got his 2,500th career hit and neglected to get the ball out of the game. And right after that, Joe Carter got a double or a hit that produced his 1,000th RBI. Carter took the ball out of the game, And then Molitor tried to claim half of it. And to be honest with you, I don't know what they did with it. Whether they alternate every month, somebody gets to keep it on their
even odd years,
their mantle or whatever. Whether they cut it in half.
Good example of Bob Boone baseball right there. You've got Greg Paquette up after Bip Roberts started off with a base hit. Paquette's got 19 home runs, and he had them bunting.
2-0 to John Nunnally. Lifted to left. Cordova makes the catch. And a good throw to third. No chance for Roberts to advance. 2 away. You know, we've been in the Metrodome for a week and a half, and you see a fly ball up against the pitch black Missouri sky, and you can understand why the outfielders and infielders who have to catch the pop flies, I mean, the ball here just glows, whether it's the lighting, whatever, but it's no problem seeing a baseball here at Kauffman Stadium. And
we can see it all the way too.
That's right. We can actually see the arc of the fly ball. Mercedes making his first plate appearance. Royals leading by 3 with 2 out in the bottom of the 8th. On the right field line, Coomer has no play. Looking ahead to the bottom, or excuse me, the top of the 9th inning. The scheduled hitters, Mears, Rebele, and Knobloch. The Royals do not have Jeff Montgomery as their closer. He had season-ending shoulder surgery a couple of weeks ago. I talked with Jeff a little bit before the game this afternoon. If the surgery went well, he hopes to make a full recovery for next year. So Bob Boone does not have the services of his #1 closer. Jose Bluma has been closing some games for the Royals. We may see him. And there he is, warming up in the Kansas City pen.
Well, he had a real good year at AAA. He already has 2 major league saves.
1-2. Henry Mercedes. Fly ball center field. Becker has an easy play, and the Royals are done in the 8th. To the 9th with Kansas City up by 3. Welcome back to Kauffman Stadium, or as they say here in Kansas City, the K. And the Royals are leading the Twins 6-3 after the Twins took an early 3-0 lead. Jaime Bluma will try to close it out for the Royals as they have a 3-run lead. Bluma has been pretty impressive. He had a kind of a rough major league debut, but he's done a nice job here in September pinning down the games for Bob Boone in the absence of Jeff Montgomery. Matt Lawton will hit for the Twins for Pat Mears. The Twins do have plenty of left-handed hitting on the bench, and Lawton will try to get something started here in the 9th. Fastball on the outside corner, a strike. Down and in a ball. It's 1-1. Off the glove of Bluma into center field, and Lawton gets a leadoff single. Bert Blyleven has left the press box. He's going down on the field to talk with Paul Molitor right after the game, so we invite you to stay tuned for that. Molitor hoping to have a chance to hit here. That will mean that the Twins have mounted a rally in the 9th. Jeff Reveille will not hit. Chip Hale will in the ninth. Hale, Minnesota's top pinch hitter, both in terms of production and number of opportunities this year. Twins down by 3 runs. First pitch, foul back. This will be Hale's 59th at bat, unless he walks or is hit by a pitch. 18 pinch hits, a new club record. Outside, 1-1. Had a great first half pinch hitting, a sensational first half, and has had less success in the second half. A strike, and it's 1-2. Twins need another base runner, and then a big fly to tie this thing up. To left field, and that will fall in front of Norman, and the Twins get opening base hits from their first 2 hitters here in the ninth. And Knobloch will come to the plate representing the tying run. First and second, nobody out. Knobloch doubled in the second, his 1,000th career hit. Knobloch will be followed by Rich Becker. Nearly hit him. Ball 1. And that pitch catches the outside corner. 1-1. His last 9 games, Bluma has been just about untouchable. 11 2/3 innings pitched, just 6 hits and 1 run. Made the All-Star team for the American Association. One to Knobloch. Busted his bat. Bluma to second. Out there. And Norman drops the ball, and Dale Ford says he dropped it trying to take it out of his glove. So no double play, but a force at second, with Lawton moving to third. You can see the throw right on target. Norman pulled the ball out, but never really got in position to throw the ball to first. Good call by Dale Ford. Knobloch reaching on a fielder's choice. 1 out, and now Rich Becker comes to the plate. Barring a double play, Molitor will have a chance to hit here in the ninth. First pitch fouled back. Becker singled his last time up. And a strike 0-2. Bluma's motion is, as you can see, a little unusual. Not very smooth. He throws the ball hard, and you can see why it might be a little tough for a hitter to pick up the ball right away. One and 2 to Becker. 2-2. Becker trying to do what he can to score a run, get the tying run into scoring position for Molitor. Here's a drive to right center field. It'll fall for a hit. Lawton will score. Knobloch to third. It's 6-4. The tying run is at first for Paul Molitor. 3 hits in the inning against Bluemont. Becker taking a pitch down and in, driving it to right center field for his second hit. Lawton was able to score easily. Knobloch scooting to third. Molitor already has 3 hits tonight. Numbers 2,999, number 3,000, and number 3,001. The average up to 344 if Alex Rodriguez comes down just a little bit. Molitor might be able to contend for a batting championship in the last week. There's a bunt down the line, foul. Molitor trying to pick up his 4th hit, trying to set up Cordova for some heroics. If the bunt had worked, if he had reached base, he would have represented the go-ahead run at first. Even if it had failed, a run scores and the tying runs at second. But the element of surprise now is gone. Fly ball, center field. Myers is there. Knobloch tags. He'll score. It's 6-5 for Molitor. His 108th run batted in. Marty Cordova drove in his 109th in his first at bat. The hand, the fans who've remained here for Molitor, probably finishing his night's work. So it's left to Cordova, who drove in a run with a single in his first at bat. It's 6-5. Outside, ball 1. If Cordova can reach, Roberto Kelly is the next scheduled hitter. Half swing. It's a strike. 1-1. Cordova hit a dramatic 9th-inning home run in the last homestand to tie a game that the Twins won in 12 innings. Hoping for more dramatics here tonight. Becker takes off. Mercedes with a throw that goes into center field. Becker will hold up wisely at second. So the count is even to Cordova. Becker steals his way into scoring position. No error charged to Mercedes, even though the throw was not a good one. The throw really sailed on Mercedes. Myers came in from center field to make sure Becker didn't advance to third. 2-2 to Cordova. Inside pitch lifted over the Kansas City dugout. Twins scoring twice here in the 9th inning. Their first runs since the 2nd inning. Another foul by Cordova. Another foul by Cordova. Doing his best to protect the plate, hoping that Bluma will make a mistake. Something he can drive. Kansas City has the lead. Another foul, this one between the legs of Mercedes and back to the screen. This has been a good at-bat for Cordova. He hopes it'll have a good ending. Him. He wins the battle, and the Royals win the game. A 6-5 Kansas City win. The Royal win overshadowed by Paul Molitor's 3,000th hit, Chuck Knobloch's 1,000th hit, and we'll talk with Paul when we come back to Kauffman Stadium in just a moment. The Royals win the opening game of this three-game series, 6-5. The Twins jumped out to an early 3-0 lead, and then the Royals came back with a 5-run sixth, and the additional run in the seventh proved costly as the Royals ended up winning by 1 run. The Twins played the Royals very tough early on. They won 5 of the first 6 games this year, but now the Royals have come back to win 4 of the last 5. But years from now, perhaps even as soon as tomorrow, fans will forget the score here tonight, but they will probably remember that Paul Molitor tonight on September 16th, 1996 got his 3,000th hit of his major league career, and for the first time in baseball history, a player joined the 3,000 hit club by hitting a triple. Fastball up and in. Molitor drove it to right center field. I thought Rod Myers was going to catch this ball, but he let it drop. Both he and John Nunley had a chance at it. Molitor never stopped, went all the way to third. The Twins left him there. It was a 1-out triple, and as it turns out, the Twins could have used that run, but Molitor going 3 for 4, becoming the 21st member to join baseball's 3,000 hit club. He is our Carrier Player of the Game. The Player of the Game brought to you by Carrier. We're not comfortable until you are. So, in fact, it did not happen at the Metrodome at home. It happened here in Kansas City 3 years to the day that Dave Winfield picked up his 3,000th hit at the Metrodome against Dennis Eckersley. And I suppose Jose Rosado will always go down in the trivia books as the pitcher who did that. And if you were with us during our telecast yesterday, we talked about some of the great pitchers that gave up a 3,000th hit in their career. Frank Viola gave up Rod Carew. Dennis Eckersley gave up Dave Winfield, and Jose Rosado will be perhaps the answer to a trivia question. He is the pitcher who gave up Paul Molitor's 3,000th hit here tonight. Molitor with 3 hits tonight, so he not only joined the 3,000 hit club, he got past Roberto Clemente, and he finishes tonight with 3,001 career hits. He's in 20th place all by himself, and he shows no signs of slowing down. He almost certainly will come back and play with the Twins again in 1997. As he said in our pregame chat, it was a very good idea for him to come to the Twins and finish out his career, but he's not finished yet. And right now he's down on the field with Bert Blyleven. Gentlemen?
Well, first of all, Paul, congratulations from everybody from St. Paul to Minnesota, everybody. Just congratulations on 3,000. How does it feel?
Well, Bert, you know, it's been very overwhelming the past couple weeks, the way the people back home responded and coming out to the ballpark, particularly yesterday, you know, with the big walk-up crowd and the ovations. Very visual pictures to take with you for a long, long time. And then, of course, today coming to Kansas City and having the fans here, even in a foreign ballpark, being very supportive. And, you know, a very special night, something that I'll be able to save it for a long, long time.
Yeah, I know that Robin Yount was here. George Brett got to witness it. I know your wife and daughter were here, but a lot of your family members were here and some weren't. I know your dad wasn't able to make it.
Well, you know, after yesterday, everyone was kind of scrambling to try to figure out what kind of plans to make if they could get down here. And I know, you know, my wife and daughter came and my in-laws. My dad woke up today, wasn't feeling real good, and he didn't know if he was going to be able to travel. So I talked to him this morning and told him to make sure that he just took care of himself and was feeling better. And I didn't know if I'd be able to wait another day for him to come. I'm going to take it when it comes. But, Dad, I know if you're watching, I know you're here in spirit, and I sure appreciate everything you've done for me.
Yeah, that's great. Congratulations to you. And, you know, it didn't take you long. You got 3,000. All of a sudden, next at bat, you got 301. When are you going to stop?
Well, I don't know. You know, a little disappointing to have it occur in a game that you lose, especially when we're out in front like that. But the young man from Kansas City, Mr. Rosado, I'll give him a lot of credit for being aggressive tonight. He didn't try to trick me or anything. He came after me with fastballs, and, you know, I appreciate that he gave me that opportunity. But it was a good night, and, again, I want to thank all the people back home as well.
Good, Paul. Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
Okay, many more hits.
Thank you.
Dick, back to you.
All right, thanks. Yeah, quite a night for Paul Molitor and the Twins. And for those of you, again, who would like a ticket to tonight's game, apparently a lot of people back in the upper Midwest area and all around the country do want a ticket for tonight's game. You can call 1-800-6-ROYALS tomorrow. Anytime between 9 in the morning and 9 p.m. There are plenty of tickets available because they did not draw too many here tonight. Paul Molitor got a big hit tonight, a triple, his 3,000th career hit. St. Paul has 2 members of a 21-member club in baseball. Paul Molitor joining Dave Winfield in baseball's 3,000 hit club, a night to remember for all of us who watched it in person or we hope watched it on television. Twins will try again tomorrow. They lose here tonight 6-5. For producer Naomi Enyart, director Dave Higgins, Bert Blyleven, and Dick Bremer saying goodnight from Kauffman Stadium.
Twins Baseball on MSC is sponsored in part by Menards, helping you build America's heartland for 35 years. By your local Northland Ford dealer, home of 5 of the 10 best-selling vehicles in America. By Pabst Blue Ribbon Beer. By your independent insurance agents. By Snapper, creating the most beautiful places on earth. And by your local Jeep and Eagle dealer. This copyrighted broadcast is presented by authority of the Minnesota Twins and may not be rebroadcast in any form without the expressed written consent of the Minnesota Twins.